the visual or strip search. These searches are conducted when there is reasonable belief that contraband may be concealed on the inmate.
Direct the inmate to remove all clothes, keeping your eyes on the inmate while he is undressing to look for signs of anxiety or any attempt to dispose of contraband. Further inspect the inmate's clothing by running your hands over the material, turning garments inside out, and examining zippers, buttons, seams, cuffs, and hat bands. Examine the soles, heels, and inside the shoes, looking for false heels or items hidden inside the shoes. Direct the inmate to bend forward with his head down, and run his fingers vigorously through his hair several times to dislodge any contraband which may be hidden there. Visually inspect inside and behind both ears, inside the nose, and inside the mouth using a flashlight if necessary. Ask the inmate to remove any dentures and visually inspect them while the inmate holds them. Direct the inmate to pull the lower lip out and down and to pull the upper lip out and up. Observe the inmate's entire body, looking for cuts, bruises, fresh tattoos, or needle marks. If there are any bandages, direct the inmate to remove them, or at least lift one side to show that nothing is concealed underneath. Direct the inmate to extend his arms forward, palms down, and fingers apart. Examine the backs of the hands and under the fingernails. Check for needle marks between the fingers and on the arms. Direct the inmate to turn his hands over and inspect the palms. Then examine the inmate's armpits and arms by directing the inmate to lift his arms above his head. Look for items taped to the body or for fresh tattoos or needle marks. Next, examine the inmate's torso. If the inmate is female, direct her to lift her breasts so that you can see if anything is taped or hidden under the breasts. If the inmate is obese, direct him to lift the folds of skin so that you can see if anything is taped or hidden between the folds. Examine the inmate's groin. If the inmate is male, direct him to spread his legs and lift his genitals so that you can see if anything is hidden or taped under the penis or scrotum. If he is not circumcised, he must pull back the foreskin to expose the head of the penis. If the inmate is female, direct her to squat down, spread her vagina, and cough to dislodge anything hidden in the vagina. Visually examine the front of the inmate's legs. Direct the inmate to turn around and examine the back of the legs. Examine the soles of the inmate's feet and between the toes by directing the inmate to lift 1 foot at a time and wiggle his toes. Check the inmate's back. Next, search the inmate's lower body. A common spot for inmates to hide keys, drugs, or even hacksaw blades is inside metal or plastic cigar tubes inserted in the rectum. So examine the inmate's anus by directing him to bend over and spread his buttocks. Use a flashlight if one is available. If you suspect contraband, have the inmate squat and cough. If you find any evidence that something may be concealed in the anal cavity, such as a greasy substance around the rectum, call the medical staff immediately. Only medical personnel are permitted to conduct body cavity searches,